If you don't do something by age 30, you'll never be able to do it for the rest of your life. That's what they told me. And for a while I believed it. Because I was behind on my goals, behind on my dreams, behind on becoming the man I knew I could be. But one day I discovered something that changed my life. A truth so simple yet so powerful. It's never too late if you're willing to do the work. Let that settle in. It's not too late because of your age. It's too late when you stop trying. It's too late when you start making excuses. It's too late when you give up on yourself. But as long as you've got breath in your body, as long as you can think, speak, move, you've still got a chance. A chance to rewrite the script, a chance to rebuild the foundation, a chance to become someone new. I was 25 years old, broke, disappointed in myself, full of excuses. I had pennies in my pocket and nothing to show for the years behind me. But then someone said to me, Jim, you can't change your past, but you can change your future if you start today. And I did. I started with the little things, reading a book, jotting down goals, changing how I spoke to myself. And piece by piece, day by day, everything began to shift. Because I learned the most valuable lesson of all: success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. It's not about how fast you go. It's about whether you're moving in the right direction. Now you may be listening to this and thinking, Jim, I've wasted too much time. No, my friend, you've just delayed your decision. And the beautiful thing is, you can decide today. It's not what happens that determines the quality of your life. It's what you do about what happens. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to get honest? Are you ready to do the work? Because that's what it takes, work. Not just wishing, not just waiting, not just talking. Real, steady, consistent work. And here's the promise: if you do the work, your life will change. Maybe not overnight, but over time, if you stay with it, it will transform. So don't believe the lie that it's too late. It's not too late. It's just later than you planned. But guess what? Later is still better than never. You've still got time. You've still got fire. You've still got hope. The question is, do you have the discipline? That's what we're going to talk about. Because this journey isn't about talent. It's not about luck. It's not even about timing. It's about one thing. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And that bridge is still waiting for you. Let's begin. I want to begin with a simple idea. You cannot change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Now that's powerful. Because some people, they've already written themselves off. They say, Jim, I'm too old. Or, Jim, I've missed my chance. But Jim, it's too late for me. Let me tell you something, that is a myth, a lie. A comfortable excuse dressed up like truth. Because here's the reality. It's only too late if you choose to believe it's too late. You see, life doesn't come with a deadline for improvement. There's no expiration date on discipline. No age limit on transformation. You can change your life at 20, at 40, at 60, or at 70. If you're still breathing, you can still build. If you're still standing, you can still climb. If you're still willing, you can still win. When I was 25, I met a man who turned my life around. He said, Jim, what you become is far more important than what you get. And at the time, I didn't get it. Because I was focused on what I didn't have. No money, no status, no direction. But he made me realize something deeper. I wasn't missing opportunity. I was missing urgency. I thought I had all the time in the world. And then suddenly I was 25 and broke. But guess what? I started. Late, but I started. And let me tell you, starting late is still better than never starting at all. Now maybe you've been dragging your feet. Maybe you've been telling yourself you're too old, too tired, too behind. Let me challenge that. How old is too old to get in shape, to learn a skill, to start a business, to repair a relationship? How late is too late to write your book, to run your race, to leave your mark? Listen, There are people who started at 60U and changed the world. There are people who turned their life around at 50U and never looked back. There are people who failed for 30 years and finally succeeded in year 31. You're not behind. You're just on a different schedule, and that's okay. If you're willing to get serious now. Because what keeps people stuck is not age, it's indecision. It's procrastination. It's fear dressed as wisdom. I hear it all the time. Jim, what if I try and it doesn't work? Well, what if you don't try and nothing ever works? That's the greater tragedy. See, most people tiptoe through life hoping to arrive safely at death. But that's not living. That's just existing. And I don't want that for you. I want you to live deliberately, to wake up with a reason, to go to bed with gratitude. But that doesn't happen by default. It happens by decision. So here's what I want you to do right now. Make a decision that you are done living small. Done living scared. Done living like you're already out of time, because you're not. You've still got time. And remember, don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations are high and the pressure to perform is strong. Yes, it'll be hard, but it's harder living with regret. So get around people who are going somewhere. People who believe in effort. People who don't care how late it is, as long as you start. That's who you want in your corner. And more importantly, be that kind of person for yourself. Because the moment you stop saying, it's too late, and start saying, it's my time, that's the moment everything changes. So what do you do now? Simple. You make today your new day one, not one day, but day one. Because here's the truth. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Change your direction. Stand up. Get moving. Get working. And remember, it's not too late. It's never too late. Not if you're willing to do the work. Let's keep going. Let me tell you something very important. Everything begins with a decision. You've got to make up your mind. Right now, and don't waver. Don't second guess. Don't wait for a sign. Just decide. Because my friends, a made-up mind is the key to everything. This is where the power lies. You see, people often say, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start Monday. I'll start when the time is right. Well, guess what? The time will never be right. The perfect moment will never come. It's always just out of reach. And that's why most people never change. They're waiting for the stars to align, waiting for the circumstances to be perfect, waiting for permission. But here's the truth: the moment you decide, everything changes. You don't need a perfect situation. You need a perfect decision. One moment, one choice. That's where it all begins. I remember the day I decided to change my life. I was 25, broke, and I had no clear direction. But I made a decision, a simple one. I'm going to change my life. Not, I'll try to change it. Maybe I'll change it one day. Not, if everything works out. I made a decision, and that decision became my foundation. Everything else flowed from that single moment. You see, the power of a made-up mind is that it removes doubt. It removes confusion. It removes hesitation. Once your mind is made up, the obstacles don't seem as big anymore. The fears don't seem as loud anymore. The reasons not to do it fall away. Because decisions determine direction. And direction determines your destination. So, let me ask you, what's your decision? If you're tired of where you are, if you're frustrated with where you've been, if you're sick of waiting for things to change, then make up your mind. Let me give you a powerful example of this. One of the most successful people I know, a man who built a multi-million-dollar company, told me the secret to his success in one sentence. I decided. That's it. He decided. And then he didn't look back. He didn't wait for the economy to improve. He didn't wait for the perfect team. He didn't wait for the right timing. He just decided. And that decision led him to incredible results. Here's something you need to understand. The moment you decide, you step into your power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your life. But what stops most people? Fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, and it's all based on a single belief. What if I make the wrong decision? But let me tell you something. You can't make the wrong decision if you make it with conviction. When you make a decision with absolute certainty, the universe starts to conspire in your favor. Opportunities show up. People appear. Resources materialize. The world responds to certainty. So when you decide, don't second guess. Don't doubt. Don't wait for things to align perfectly. Just make the decision and follow through. Here's something else. The biggest breakthroughs don't happen because of a great plan or perfect strategy. They happen because of persistence, consistency, and decisions. If you keep making the right decisions day after day, you will eventually create the life you desire. But it all starts with that one decision. I'm going to get serious about this. I'm going to stop making excuses. I'm going to do the work no matter what. Once you make that decision, you've won half the battle. The rest is just follow through. And let me remind you, it's never too late to make that decision. You don't need to be 20. You don't need to be 30. You don't need to be 50. You can decide today, right now. The moment you decide, your journey begins. And remember, the price of discipline is nothing compared to the cost of regret. So make up your mind right now and watch how the world begins to shift around you. Once you decide, everything becomes possible. And when you start, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. But that's okay, because you're starting now, and that's all that matters. Let's talk about something fundamental. Discipline. It's the key to everything you want in life. And here's the truth, you may not want a hard discipline is the price tag for success. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jim. I want success, but I don't want the price. Well, guess what? There is no other way. Success costs. It always has. But here's the beauty of the price isn't about money. It's about discipline. It's about consistency. It's about doing the little things day in and day out. Most people want the reward but are unwilling to pay the price. They want the treasure without the toil, the result without the work. But that's not how it works. Success is not an accident. It's a choice. It's a series of decisions backed by the discipline to carry them out. I've been where you are. I know what it's like to look at someone else's success and think, how did they get there? But let me tell you, it's not magic. It's not luck. It's discipline. And discipline is not some abstract concept. It's not something only a select few are born with. It's a habit. It's a practice. It's a way of life. The question isn't, do I want success? The question is, am I willing to pay the price? And the price, it's simple discipline. I once heard someone say, the road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. And that's true, isn't it? How many times have you stopped on the road to your dreams? How many times have you thought, just one day off, just one more excuse, I'll get back to it tomorrow? Let me tell you something about those parking spaces. They seem innocent at first, right? A break here, a pause there, a detour now and then. But what you don't realize is those small stops add up, and over time they can lead you off course. Discipline says, no, I'm not stopping. I'm not pausing. I'm not taking the detour. Because the longer you delay, the farther you drift from your destination. And that's the price of success. Doing the work when you'd rather take a break. Showing up when you'd rather stay in bed. Making the tough choice when the easy option is right in front of you. It's never easy, but it's always worth it. Here's something I learned early in my life. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You can have all the dreams in the world. You can have all the plans. You can have all the ideas. But without discipline, none of it matters. Discipline is what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's what keeps you going when the days are long. It's what keeps you focused when distractions are everywhere. And here's the beauty of it. The more disciplined you are, the easier it becomes to be disciplined. It's like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. At first, discipline feels hard. It feels uncomfortable. But over time, it becomes second nature. And when that happens, success doesn't seem so far out of reach anymore. Now, let's talk about the payoff. It's not just about success in the future. It's about the rewards today. Because every time you say no to a temptation, every time you make the hard choice, every time you stay disciplined, you build your character. You build your self-respect. You build your confidence. You start to realize that you can do what you set out to do. You start to believe in yourself a little more. And as you continue on this path of discipline, the rewards follow. The results appear. And success becomes inevitable. I know it's tempting to want an easy way out. To look for shortcuts. To wish for things to happen faster. But the truth is, you have to do the work. And you have to do it with consistency. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines. Practiced every day. This is the core of it. This is the secret. So, here's what I want you to commit. Commit to discipline. Commit to doing the work even when it's hard. Commit to showing up even when you don't feel like it. Because when you do that, the world can't help but notice. Success will start showing up. And it'll start showing up in ways you never imagined. Discipline is not easy. It's not quick. But it's the price you must pay. And I'll tell you this, the price of discipline is nothing compared to the cost of regret. Let me ask you a simple question. What's stopping you? I know it feels like there's never enough time. I know it seems like the circumstances aren't right. I know you're thinking, I'll start when I have everything in place. Oh, but let me tell you the truth. You don't have to have everything in place to begin. You can start right now. Start with what you have. Start with what you can do. That's the key. You see, the reason so many people don't take action is because they're waiting for the perfect moment. They're waiting for the stars to align, waiting for everything to fall into place. But that's a trap. And if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll be waiting forever. Here's the secret. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You need a decision. You need the willingness to take that first step. I often say, success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. It's the small things that add up. The first step may seem insignificant, but it's never as small as you think. Because each step brings you closer to your goal. Each step builds momentum. Let me share a personal story with you. When I started out, I had nothing. No fancy office, no resources, no connections. But I had one thing, the will to start. I started with what I had. I started with what I could do. And here's what I learned. It's not about having all the answers. It's about starting with what you have, then learning as you go. I didn't wait for everything to be perfect. I didn't wait for the conditions to be just right. I simply started. And that's when everything began to change. Now, I want you to think about this. What's one thing you can start today? What's one small step you can take right now that will move you closer to your goal? It doesn't matter how small. It doesn't matter how insignificant it seems. Just take the first step. Whether it's writing that first page of your book, making that first phone call, starting that workout, or writing down your goals. The key is to start. And here's something powerful that happens when you start. You gain clarity. You see what works and what doesn't. You learn what you need to improve. If you wait for the perfect plan, you'll never get started. But if you start with what you have, you'll learn along the way. And eventually, the perfect plan will come. Think about this. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. That's how success works. It doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't happen in a day. But each step takes you closer to where you want to go. And over time, those small steps add up. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you look at the entire picture. It's easy to think, how am I ever going to achieve that? But if you just focus on the next step, you can do it. You can accomplish anything if you break it down into manageable pieces. Remember this, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. And don't be discouraged if things don't look perfect right away. When I started, it wasn't easy. It wasn't glamorous. But I kept going. I didn't wait for the perfect moment. I didn't wait for a massive breakthrough. I just kept taking one small step after another. And now, years later, I look back and see the progress I've made. And you'll be amazed at the progress you can make if you just start. If you just begin with what you can do right now, today. But here's the thing. When you start, don't expect everything to be easy. Don't expect the world to cheer you on from day one. Most people won't even notice your small steps. Most people won't see the effort you're putting in behind the scenes. But that's okay. Because the most important thing is that you start. You have to be willing to do the work even when no one's watching. You have to be willing to take the first step, even when it feels like no one cares. That's the price of success. Let me share a quick story about one of my mentors. He told me that when he started, he didn't have a clue what he was doing. He made mistakes. He struggled. He failed. But what kept him going was his commitment to keep starting. Every time he failed, he started again. Every time he stumbled, he picked himself up and started again. And eventually, after years of starting, he built a legacy. And that's what you need to do too. Start, fail, learn, start again, and keep going. That's how success is built, one step at a time. So today, don't wait. Don't think you need everything to be in place. Start with what you have and use what you can. And know this, if you start today, you're already ahead of most people. You're already on your way. It's never too late to start. The best time to begin is right now. And if you start with what you can, you will surprise yourself with how far you can go. Your story isn't finished yet. It's easy to look at your life and think, this is it. This is all I've done and all I will ever do. But let me tell you something. It's never too late to rewrite your ending. You might look at the mistakes you've made or the time you feel you've wasted. Maybe you feel the weight of past failures pulling you back. But listen to me carefully. Your future is not written by your past mistakes. Your future is determined by what you choose to do now. No matter how old you are, no matter how much you've been through, you still have the pen in your hand. It's time to pick it up and start writing your new chapter. You have the ability to craft your own destiny. Your life doesn't need to be a collection of past disappointments and missed opportunities. You can still create a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. You might think, but Jim, I've made so many mistakes. I've lost so much time. I've tried before, and it didn't work. Here's something I want you to understand deeply. It's not over until you say it's over. You can always start again. And not just start, but start with power, with direction, with a sense of purpose. You are not bound by what's happened to you in the past. It doesn't matter how many wrong turns you've made. It doesn't matter if your life feels like it's in shambles right now. What matters is what you do with today. There's a quote I love. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I promise you, your finish isn't written yet. You're still in the middle of your story. The best chapters of your life could be ahead of you. Think about it for a second. How many people do you know who thought their best days were behind them? How many people do you know who settled for less because they thought they were too old or too far behind? Too many, right? But I'll tell you something. Age is nothing more than a number. You are never too old to pursue your dreams. You are never too late to go after what you want. The only thing that's too late is when you give up on yourself. When you decide that the story is over before it's actually finished. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and picture your life 5 years from now. Where are you? Who are you with? What have you accomplished? Now think about this. If you continue the way you've been going, will you get there? If you keep living the same way, will you create the life that you just imagined? Here's a truth I want you to internalize. If you don't change anything, nothing will change. The life you're living right now is a result of the choices you've made so far. And if you're not happy with where you are, it's time to change your choices. It's time to take control and rewrite the story. It's so easy to think we're too far gone, that the mistakes we've made define who we are. But they don't. Your past is just a chapter. It's not the whole book. You see, most people are so focused on what they've lost, they forget what they can still gain. They believe their past failures are permanent, that they'll never be able to turn things around. But that's simply not true. Listen to me. The past only has the power you give it. If you continue to carry the weight of the past with you, it will keep dragging you down. But if you let go of the past and make the decision to move forward, you'll begin to see new opportunities unfold. Opportunities that you never thought possible. Now, I'll say this again because it's so important. You have the power to rewrite your ending. You have the power to change the course of your life. The next chapter can be better than you've ever imagined, but it starts with a decision. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Success is the result of discipline, the result of making the right choices day after day. Success isn't a magic trick. It's not about waiting for the perfect opportunity. Success comes from making small, disciplined decisions that add up over time. And those small steps, when taken consistently, will lead you to where you want to go. But I want to warn you about something here. Rewriting your ending isn't going to be easy. It's not always going to be glamorous. It's not always going to be comfortable. But it will be worth it. Because when you start rewriting your ending, you're not just changing the story. You're becoming the person you were always meant to be. And yes, there will be struggles. There will be setbacks. But guess what? You'll handle them differently this time. You'll face them with courage and determination. Why? Because you've decided that your story is not over yet. You've decided to keep fighting. So, here's what I want you to do. Start today. Right now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel like you have it all figured out. You'll never have it all figured out. But you can start. And when you start, things begin to change. I'll leave you with one last thought. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And you have dreams, don't you? You have goals. You have things you want to achieve. But those dreams don't come true by themselves. They don't come true by wishing or waiting. They come true when you make a decision to change, to move forward, to take action. It's time to start writing the next chapter of your life. And if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to make the sacrifices, your ending can be greater than anything you've ever imagined. It's never too late. And I'm here to tell you that your best days are still ahead of you. Now go write the next chapter. Your story is far from over.